सबसे उपयुक्त और मजबूती के साथ खड़ा है देश हित में, तो भारतीय जनता पार्टी और प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी। जिस दल में मैं था, मुझे ये महसूस होने लगा कि हम लोग राजनीति में हैं और राजनीति एक माध्यम है, दल भी माध्यम है। अगर आप अपने लोगों के हितों की रक्षा नहीं कर सकते, उनके लिए काम नहीं आ सकते, तो आपका राजनीति और उस दल में रहने में क्या उचित है?
मेरे छोटे भाई हैं, मुझे बड़ी खुशी है, इसका स्वागत है भारतीय जनता पार्टी में। प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में मंत्री अमित शाह जी और राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष नड्डा जी के नेतृत्व में आगे अग्रसर हो रही है।
All the lovers of our country should come together under the banner of BJP, under the leadership of great Narendra Modi ji. It's a very good day for us.
उनको भी यहाँ भी भविष्य था। अब पार्टी के जनरल सेक्रेटरी भी थे, लेकिन ये जाना अच्छा नहीं था।
कांग्रेस पार्टी को आत्मचिंतन भी करना चाहिए। कोई कौम, कोई इंसान जब कमजोर होता है तो लोग उसको छोड़ देते हैं।
Hello everyone, you're watching News Epicenter with me, Marya, Shakil. The exodus of young leaders from the Congress continues, something that has become indicative of the party's state of affairs, namely in the run-up to the elections. Former Union Minister and the party's Brahmin face in Uttar Pradesh, Jitin Prasada, one of the key aides of Rahul Gandhi, has quit the Congress and joined the BJP. Following and echoing Jyotiraditya Scindia, he says he wanted the opportunity to work for the people, something he was not getting in the Congress. Reports suggest he wanted to be the Congress president of Uttar Pradesh and had issues with Priyanka Gandhi's team, which is leading the Congress effort in the coveted state. BJP sources say Prasada will be fielded in the upcoming Uttar Pradesh elections, and he is also likely to be given a big role in the 2024 general elections. He joins a long list of young guns who have left the Congress for bigger political fortunes, either on their own or in the BJP camp. Jagan Mohan Reddy left the party in 2010 and floated the YSRCP a year later, sweeping both the state and Lok Sabha elections in 2019, and now he serves as the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, a state which was once a Congress bastion. Himanta Biswa Sarma left in 2014 over Rahul Gandhi's leadership style and engineered 2 consecutive victories for the BJP in Assam, ending Congress rule. He currently serves as the Chief Minister of the former Congress bastion. Priyanka Chaturvedi was one of the rising female leaders of the party. She left the Congress in 2019 after the party leadership reinstated party workers who misbehaved with her. She is now in the Shiva Sena. Then is the most recent high-profile defection, Jyotiraditya Scindia, who left the party in 2020 and helped the BJP return to power in Madhya Pradesh after a brief reign of the Congress. There has been a dual reaction from the Congress camp. The absolute Congress loyalists called Jitin Prasada's exit unfortunate, saying he had a bright future in the party, but overall their message is good riddance. But another camp, with leaders like Milind Deora, have once again cited the need for introspection, saying the Congress still has the potential of being India's best big tent party and must take decisive action, something disgruntled Congress veterans or the group of 23 have been advocating for weeks. The Congress is already facing a leadership tussle in Punjab and Rajasthan, and while this crisis escalates, the party's national footprint continues to shrink. Over 7 years since 2014, the Congress is nowhere close to matching the Modi-Shah juggernaut on the national stage. So what lies ahead for the grand old party? Jitin Prasada's exit has started the internal rumblings. Will it open the floodgates of a mass exodus? Let me bring in my guests. Dr. Nasir Hussain is a member of parliament of the Congress. We have Shaina NC, spokesperson of the BJP. Pradyut Dev Burman is a former Congress Tripura head, and Rashid Kidwai, is a journalist. I'm going to begin with you, Rashid. It may have been in the offing for long, but why is it that young leaders like Jyotiraditya Scindia a few months ago and Jitin Prasada now feel that the Congress is not where their aspirations can be realized?
I think, Marya, fundamentally, because they don't come from organization, they have not made, sacrifices, they have not struggled. And this holds true for Rahul Priyanka on the one side and this Jitin Prasada and Jyotiraditya Scindia and several others. So there is this kind of one-upmanship is there. And they tend to, whenever there is a breakdown of personal rapport, like I assume that in this particular case, in case of Jitin Prasada, it was a spur of the moment kind of decision. It was a week ago. I don't think he had an intention to quit the Congress. And he may have felt that in Uttar Pradesh, where Priyanka Gandhi is looking after party affairs.
But why are you saying it's spur of the moment decision? If anything, Rashid, you have only written that in 2019, in 2020, March itself, when Jyotiraditya Scindia quit, Prasada was in the queue.
Yeah. No, that at one level, of course, all of them are looking for green pastures. But I think here Jitin perhaps felt after Bengal defeat that there is no hope for him in UP because forget about him, he is not able to accommodate his team or his people in the UPCC. There is a lot of this left of center, names of Sandeep Singh and several other close associates of Priyanka Gandhi are often mentioned as spoilers. So I think this is something that's been there. Second thing, Marya, I maintain that it is up to the BJP. If BJP wants, I think the 1/3 of Congress will go. But whether 1/3 of Congress, can BJP give them Rajya Sabha seats? Can they, make them ministers?
Okay, so what is it that the BJP is offering to Jitin Prasada, Shaina, and what does he bring on the table for you?
I don't think this is about just a single leader. Obviously, we welcome Jitin Prasada today, but there are many others. And Marya, being a senior political journalist, you have seen that political fortunes waxed and waned for different parties in the recent round of assembly elections. Look at the miserable performance of the Congress, the decline across the country. You take the case and study of Bengal. You have a contest which is direct between the TMC and the BJP. The Congress and its so-called left ally in Bengal are virtually wiped out. And this is the narrative across the country. There have been leaders, whether it is a Jyotiraditya Scindia who has come with 22, or a Rita Bahuguna Joshi, or even a Hemanta Biswa Sharma, who was originally from Congress and have been so enthused and attracted to Prime Minister Modi's leadership. Maybe that is one of the reasons why they're coming. But this soul searching for the Congress has to be done for them internally. I'm not going to sit and give them any piece of unsolicited advice. But the Congress and left, for example, were partners in Bengal and rivals in Kerala. Do you think people don't see through this? Kada doesn't see through this. And the Congress that, pretends to be only driven by one dynasty and one family, it cannot be, because this is aspirational India. Aspirational India wants performers. And you take the Northeast even, and I just want to make one last point, Marya. The Congress keeps on pointing out about performance, but the biggest blow to them is that it is a leaderless ship which has sunk. And today the Congress party, without cadre and saddled with listless leadership, unless you make space to vacate this dynastic politics for fresh blood of ideas,
Dr.
you will see this exodus continue.
It may be unsolicited, but Priyanka has pointed out something very important. Shaina has pointed out something very important. I'm sorry about that. That this is about rudderless Congress. Here is Jitin Prasada, who has taken the call and has made the move. But even Sachin Pilot, who till very recently was very disgruntled, is again upset, because all that was promised to him has not been delivered. There is no committee which was set up, which was to assuage his sentiments, address his concerns. None of that has happened.
Marya, I think Shaina also mentioned about dynasty. So what is Sachin Pilot? What is Jitin Prasada? what is Jyotiradittya Scindia? Are they not
You
diners?
know exactly what I'm saying.
Do you
This is one
think there are no
family
other
dynasty.
party in this country which has dynasts? That doesn't BJP encourage dynasts in Rajasthan, in Uttar Pradesh, in Madhya Pradesh? Let me give a long list which will go in, not in hundreds, it will go in thousands. So let us not get into that debate. The fact of the matter is that here are some people in the party who have got what they should get at a very young age. At 30, somebody becomes an MP. At 35, somebody becomes a minister in the Manmohan Singh government and then loses the election. I don't want to say that he lost the election because there are many others who lost election in Uttar Pradesh. Most of them lost election in Uttar Pradesh in 2014 and 19. Then you get an opportunity to help the party revive itself in the state. We had more around 30, 27, 28 MLAs in West Bengal. But then we drew a blank. Now we drew a blank because of the central leadership, and the person who was in charge of that state doesn't want to take the blame on himself. So let us not get into this.
But
in
Dr.
Congress
Nasser
party,
Hussain,
right from 1947
you know,
till now,
there
have
are
been
problems
many
within
people
the
who left
party. You
and
cannot
then
really brush it
Marya,
under the carpet, can you? Because yes, Jitin Prasada may have jumped the ship, but there are
Marya,
many
let me
who have
finish.
been talking
You
about
should
it.
allow me to finish.
Group of 23.
Marya, you should allow me to finish.
Yes, I am letting you
should
finish.
allow me to finish.
Please go ahead.
You should allow me to finish. You are not letting me finish. You are interrupting. You are not letting me finish. See, I'll tell you, there are many people who left the party and formed their own political parties. There are many people who left the party and joined BJP. And people, those who think they don't have future in the party because they think they should win the election because of the party and they shouldn't contribute to their own win, then I'm sure then
Will
nobody
it
can
lead
stay
to
in the party.
introspection?
If I need to win an election, the party should also help me. I should also contribute to the growth of the party.
So you're
I
saying
can't
Jitin
sit in my
Prasada
house and
did
say
not.
that I will win only because
So you
the
are
central
saying
leadership
Jitin
has to work.
Prasada
I
did
will
not
win only because
contribute to the
should be
party's
strong.
growth?
So I think everyone knows what is the story. Everyone knows that people, those who can't win the election, who are failing number of times, they think that now BJP is in a better position to get them a berth either in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. That's why they are moving. I wish all these people would have struggled before becoming an MP or an MLA.
You know,
or
the
an
point
minister,
being made
then
by
probably they would have-
Dr. Nasser Hussain isn't, I won't say that it is wrong. Jitin Prasada was made Minister of State for Petroleum and Natural Gas and then was given Human Resource Development as well. Between 2014 and 2021, he was given several organizational assignments, including working president of UPCC. He was made the member of Congress Working Committee, All India Congress Committee, in charge of Bengal as well. So he had been given responsibilities and still he jumps the ship. What can it really necessarily explain? If it is not about ambition. If it is about ambition, let it be about ambition, but let it not be about ideology or he not being recognized in the Congress.
No, I completely agree with you. I think if he wants to join the BJP, he should say that he's joining the BJP because he wants to join the BJP rather than blaming the Congress party, because I do think that he got a lot more than what many should have got in his position. I think that it would be incorrect of him if he said that now suddenly he's woken up to the BJP ideology after being in Congress for so many years and after fighting against BJP for so many years, suddenly the ideology looks a lot better because they are in power. What Nasir, I think he's the Congress spokesperson, what he said, not everyone leaves also. Let me tell this to Nasir Bhai. Not everyone leaves because and joins the BJP. I did not join the BJP and we have won. We did not join because we thought we took on the BJP and we won. BJP lost. Congress lost as well. Mamta Banerjee was a part of the Congress.
Yes.
She took on the BJP and she's defeated the BJP. While on the other hand, the Congress was not very clear and made alliance with the left in West Bengal and suffered and took on the left in Kerala. So I think sometimes it does help if the Congress also does introspection amongst themselves and says that we should be clearer. I think the biggest problem here is that till the time we do not know who the Congress president is, these things will happen. There's a lot of there's a lot. People are vague about who's the next president, who's in charge, and I think it would help the Congress party if they decide to get their act together, because this country definitely needs an opposition. Jitin has gone. I would have liked it if Jitin had created his own party, or probably not, could have left Congress and not immediately joined BJP. Could have looked at other options. There were other parties like Akhilesh's party, Mayawati's party is there. There are other parties. He could have looked at those options. But what he's done is his decision. I feel bad that he's gone and joined the BJP because from what I know, he seemed completely like a person who believed in the Congress ideology. But then,
Dr.
let's
Nasir
be
sir,
honest, this is
the point here is of absence of leadership in many ways. You know, Jitin Prasada jumping the ship is a clarity that he had made up his mind. But there is a group of 23 which has been repeatedly raising questions. These are dyed-in-the-wool Congress leaders like Kapil Sibbal, Ghulam Nabi Azad and others who have been raising questions about what is going wrong in the party. They want course correction. They are not looking at leaving the Congress and joining another party.
What is course correction?
Shouldn't there be introspection? There are multiple leaders who are saying,
Marya,
let there be a party. Sir, it is for you to decide what is course correction. What I'm saying is, shouldn't there be Atma Chintan or some kind of Chintan Baitak that the Congress used to do?
Let me tell you. See, do you think the party leadership is not active? Do you think the party leadership is not leading from the front in all the elections? Do you think the party leadership is not reacting to the anti-people policies of the union government? Do you think the party leadership is not organizing protests, dharnas and taking on the
but the Congress president's
Modi
job
leadership in the country? Do you think
that
the party
Sonia Gandhi
leadership
is holding
not
at present, it is only being extended. Is Rahul Gandhi going to be the next Congress president? Is there clarity? This is what even Pradyut is asking.
How does it matter? How is it? Marya, how does that matter? You already have a president. Whenever the next election is, because of COVID, we are not having elections. We wanted to have an elections, and people from G23 said, let us postpone it till the COVID, there's a normalcy in the country. That's fine. See, whether Rahul Gandhi becomes the president or somebody else becomes the president, how does it matter? There will be someone as the president whenever the election is holding. Now, there are directions from the party. Congressmen all across the country are doing COVID relief. I am an MP in Rajya Sabha. I'm sitting in my home district for the past 1.5 to 2 months, and I've been doing COVID relief activities.
Fine.
My party president, my party former president, the entire leadership, they are there on the ground. We are all working. See, we are asking questions. We are advising the government. We are pinpointing where the government is going wrong. Still, what do you want the leadership to do?
Rashid, there's nothing wrong in the Congress.
If somebody can't win an election and say that I am not winning an election because of the leader, because of the leader, if somebody
Rashid.
somebody wins the election, he wins the election because of himself. Somebody loses the election, he loses the election because of the leader.
Yes, Shaina, I'm going to come to you in just a bit. Rashid first.
I think Marya, what Nasir is saying, basically, see, it does not go to, make any difference if there is Rahul becomes Congress president or not. It is a question of optics. The real problem is absence of electoral success, not absence of leadership. Political leadership is Gandhi's. They're not winning. They could not win Kerala. They have not been able to win, Gujarat last time around in 2017. So that is a root cause of problem, and not everyone, leaves the party just because you're losing elections. There is also absence of ideology. See, Kesri ji used to say, "Ke inke hirday mein kamal ka phool khil gaya hai." This is a thing. The BJP has infiltrated Congress party. There are a number of leaders who are willing, and take my words, from now onwards till October, November, many leaders from Uttar Pradesh and, whether it's Goa or Uttarakhand or Punjab, they would be leaving party regular intervals, because idea is to look Rahul, look bad. That's the thing. The Congress, cannot keep its house together. That's the BJP
and these
narrative.
Are leaders seem to be very close to Rahul Gandhi. Rashid, these are leaders who are part of Team Rahul. Who were seen to be sitting with Rahul Gandhi in the Lok Sabha. they used to move around with Rahul Gandhi. They had, they had the kind of access that they could enter his house without an appointment.
Marya,
Yes, yes, Dr. Hussain.
I've written in my books that this is a
Marya,
white-collar problem. A white-collar
Marya,
leader is always bothered about his own image. They are not bothered about image of the party. This is what happened with, what Amitabh Bachchan did to Congress party, what Arun Nehru did to Congress party, what Arun Singh did to Congress party.
So is this a sense of entitlement? No, so is this the sense of entitlement that the dynasts have?
Absolutely. And Rahul should have known because, there is the same mindset. That is what I said. You see, these people do not know the importance of sacrifice and struggle.
Okay.
Mr. Nasser would not admit it because it's unpresent truth.
Yes. Okay. Nasser Hussain, 30 seconds to you and then I go to Shaina.
Can I come in?
Yes.
See, I'll see if Congress loses Kerala or Gujarat or some other state, then you blame the party leadership. Then who take the credit when Congress wins in Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, Punjab and Rajasthan? So when we win states, you give the credit, but you don't give the credit. When we lose the states, you say that it's because of the central leadership that you are losing the state. I think the central leadership is well within its rights to assert itself. They are asserting, they are working, they are very hard. All these people, those have come because of their legacy. They should also think that their fathers and grandfathers, they earned their place.
Yes, so and these are dynasts who are quitting. Yes, so Shaina, the point here is that the dynasts are leaving the Congress and joining the BJP. The BJP has been against dynasty politics. Then why is it giving space to dynasts?
Firstly, there's nothing like Congress ideology. There's only the Gandhi ideology that has been, that is the reason why you have only one family and one family's priority over party's priority. Now, that's the difference. But how does dynastic politics rule in the party? Please understand, there is only one family and one name. This is aspirational India. Why does this old party? I'll tell you 2-3 reasons, Marya. Number one, you look at a case of 2 elected governments of Karnataka and Madhya Pradesh. Why did they lose? Because of infighting, inaction, lethargy of their high command, and Rajasthan could just well as be third. Every leader who has switched is inspired by our Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji. And when I say this, ground. You have satraps that are left in their individual dent when you have a Jyotiraditya Scindia leaving 22 MLAs. Let me finish my point. You have the young so-called dynasts of Congress party not even inspiring confidence. And electoral politics aside, let's not forget that now politics is about slogging it out on the ground. Just tweeting does not help. Just a clipping of policy does not help. It has to be a party that is strong from within.
Yes.
And with the Gandhis not wanting to make any changes in the Congress working committee, it's not for me to opine on this particular issue, but at least introspect.
Okay.
And if you talk about
let me get the final words to Pradyut. Pradyut, who next?
I don't know, but believe me, Jitin leaving Congress will not have much of an effect in UP. UP will be BJP versus Akhilesh. That's my view. Even if any of the ex-ministers who were in the UPA2 leave, they'll only leave because they know that they can't win right now in the Congress party. That's very clear. I just want to say this to some of my friends in the Congress and some of my friends in the BJP as well. You know, not everyone leaves because of, because they're being given a better position or place in a party. Sometimes people also leave when there is frustration within. And this frustration can only end if the Congress party gets its act together. I am again repeating myself that this country needs a strong opposition. This country needs a strong voice. And this cannot be a personal fight between Congress and
aspirations of young India.
And the Shazia, the young India can not only be centric in Delhi. The young India also exists in Northeast. The young India also exists in the peripheries of Jammu Kashmir. in parts of South India and in parts of different parts of India. The young India cannot be only in the
But
circle
Pradeep,
which
the
we
larger
call
question is, that does Congress have anybody on the top who is ready to listen to all those leaders who are disgruntled?
They should listen to people like us. I mean, we didn't leave the Congress and join the BJP. We are there on the ground. They should listen to us. We are also part of an opposition.
Sir, you're
So
in
they
a
should
minority.
probably
Look
start
at the
listening to
amount
us.
of
And
people who have
BJP
come
should also
to
start
BJP and
listening to
inspired by
us because they cannot bulldoze their
political
point of
landscape
view
of
to
aspirations
people like
of
us
young
in the
India.
Northeast.
All right, all right. Thank you so
Mamta
much.
has just defeated BJP.
Yes.
So Mamta, they should also learn from Mamta.
Yes, all right. Thank you so much for joining us, Pradyot, Shaina, Rashid and Dr. Nasir Hussain. Of course, we are yet to hear from Jitin Prasada himself. He has just made a brief statement saying that he has quit the Congress and joined the BJP because he realizes that he can work more in the BJP. What will be his role? Will he be given an important role in the run-up to 2022 UP elections? All that is still to emerge and become clear. A story that we'll continue to track very closely. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll be seeing you tomorrow.